Yes, I'm coming. I will be indifferent. But look at the three budget head. Your 3 billion, you can have it. Look at the three. The personnel, the capital, and the recurrent. You must give one today. You must give one. You are my brother. You know why? And I will support you to fight for Nimasa. Wait, I'm coming, sir. I'm coming. Calculate your Nimasa. I've told you. Is there 10% of cost of freight? And since 1992, they've been deprived. So I said, should bring it. Let's have it. Supported by the law establishing them. We are in the position of looking at MTF. It can be part of our recommendation. But if that is done, we will remove your capital, we will remove your personnel, we will remove everything.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And I think that is, and because that will save money for us. And assist government to divert that to another. But for now, while we are doing that, we will take your recurrent. For now, we will take the 32. And by the time the master now comply, we will take everything. DG budget, note that. Okay, sir. I will quickly draft revelations staring us in the eye concerning all the revenue generating agency as scary. And I start with the LNG that was created by Senator Binani. LNG column in the document that was given to us was blank. There was no projection for the year as to what energy is bringing to us. Last year, I was made to understand that maybe 80-something billion or so thereabout was given to us. But we don't even know the projections. And every day by day, gas business is going on. And we are one of the major shareholders in the business. We should know the projection. I don't know if it is 300 billion or 80-something billion, I don't know. But we need to know. So we have invited the managing director of LLNG to appear before us, to let us look into this matter. Secondly, we had Nigerian immigration on the probe. The revelation that we gathered from the Nigerian immigration was huge. Nigerian immigration have an independent revenue of about 8 billion naira on a yearly basis. That revenue is spent by them. And the money derived from passport issuance, from biometrics, from registration of non-indigenous, or what's it called, how do I put it? Non-residents, to 7 billion. And the same immigration has 2 billion as their recurrent expenditure. I've given them that they should go and think through. They must pick one. It's either you pick that 7 billion or you release that 2 billion. Or you take 2 billion, you release the 7 billion. We need money to fund this budget. We are not going to manufacture this money from anywhere. We have to look inward, and sacrifice has to be made. Sacrifice has to be made. And there is no other people making this sacrifice than the revenue generating agencies. We are looking inward, and all this we are raising as observation. If you generate so much that you have at your kit at the end of the year, you have no choice. If you are partly funded, you have to live for now and make do with what you have as resources, independent. Or you give us that resources, then we fund your budget. We must. This is the position which we in the National Assembly are going to maintain going forward. Because all this exercise should not be an exercise in futility. We should come up with a position paper to not only support MTF, but to bring revenue to fund the budget. So all this we are raising as observation, we form part of our report. We form part of the report and the recommendation to the National Assembly. So all revenue generating agencies should start looking inward that we are coming in that direction. If you are partly funded and you generate revenue which you spend and which is more than some of the budget aid contained in your budget document, you have to give in. You have to surrender one. You cannot have the two. Please, going forward. So my brother is here. But to start with, the recurrent expenditure of 32 million is out of it. While the issue of NIMASA, he have said it. Fight for NIMASA, let NIMASA start giving me my money, then take all your budget. We should do that. NIMASA has so much money is playing up with there, and nobody is saying anything. So if there are responsibility and laws in place, which they have to satisfy, we need to enforce it. It must be enforced. If we succeeded in enforcing that law and we free up the capital, the recurrent, and the wage bill, almost 1.3 or 1.4 billion is something. Please, we should start looking towards that direction. NDIC. Stable. And we will issue warning to appear unfailingly tomorrow, because the rate and the exchange rate that is contained in the MTF is what the budget is going to be predicated upon. And we need questions and clarification regarding that. You can take your leave. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, before you go, please.
NNPC.
Can you, I'm asking the DG budget a question.
Thank you, distinguished chairman. Going straight to your questions. Number one, there's nothing like 48 million barrels missing oil. If you want to corroborate or validate that, you have the right to call on DPR. They are the regulator of the industry. That's one. Two, no more liquid, no ship leaves the country without clearance from the Navy. So that's another secondary source you can verify. From who? The Navy. Nigerian Navy.
From the Nigerian Navy?
Yes.
Is there a report to that? From the Nigerian Navy?
I'm saying you can corroborate. If you don't agree to what NNPC says, this is your alternative of finding the right, the truth about it. Thirdly, you could also commission a forensic audit at the National Assembly, of course, using your own budget funds. Your second question, with respect to cost, I can tell you the current TMD is a change agent. There are so many things we have cut to ensure that maximum revenue is remitted to the Federation. It is our intention to bring it to that $13 per barrel cost of product. How will we do that? Number one, we have analyzed our cost structure. We have found the cost drivers. Typical of them is the crude handling charges, which is the partner's charge. You can imagine moving 1 barrel of crude from here to China at the cost of $2, shipping it down to that market over a 30-day journey. Well, here in Nigeria, moving it from the oil well to the petrol station or the terminal, your partners are charging you as high as $7 per barrel. So that is where we are beginning to focus and scrutinize the budgeting process and the approval process with respect to their contracting and procurement processes as well. With respect to benchmark, if anybody were to be able to predict oil price, then that individual does not need to work because you make money. We call it voodoo economics. Nobody can determine what oil price will be tomorrow. It's a question of forces of supply and demand. $40 that has been put forward by budget office is the ideal price to carry on. We have for a long time been too optimistic. Yes, sir. It's not my cameraman. So please move here. So, in all honesty, sir, I think as a country, we need to learn to budget with some pessimistic thinking. The COVID-19 has taught us a very strong lesson. Prices went as low as $10, and when you even deduct the discount, it was far below $10. So for anyone to say that $40 is too pessimistic, I think we're not helping ourselves. We have to learn to budget on a price that we think comfortably, if we sustain the current OPEC cost, we think the $40 scenario will prevail. And as economics rebound, China is the biggest consumer. As you have, they are building storages to store crude. It is consumption that drives the demand, and as demand goes up, the price can go up and stabilize. Of course, we believe also that the shale oil in the US might not be able to come back at $40 or so $40 oil. So anything slightly above 40, they could come back. So it is our general belief, and we support the position of the budget office, that as a country we should go with a $40 scenario.
Are you saying we can go ahead and increase it to 42?
No, sir.
For now?
If I were to take decisions, I will reduce it further. Because we need to save for the rainy days.
No, that account that it goes to is an administrative account.
Okay, sir. All right. Okay, the fourth question, sir, with respect to deductions. There's nothing we deduct that is not appropriated. Any deduction we make is driven by what MTEC has presented and approved by the National Assembly. If what we have deducted is assumed to be excessive, we have a monthly reconciliation practice with the Revenue Mobilization and the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. So there haven't been any outrageous deductions we have made that have not been appropriated, and we can provide evidences to support what those deductions were used for, and the Auditor General of the Federation.
Who approved your budget?
This budget is approved by the National Assembly, where we deduct it's derived from MTEC.
Revenue from MTEC according to who? NNPC or what?
No. The National Assembly appropriates the projections of the revenues and the deductions, just as I presented this morning, the 2021 proposal.
Sir, what we have made to understand is that the budget of NNPC is not approved by the National Assembly. The budget of NNPC.
Okay, let me come there.
I'm coming, sir. And when we are talking about deductions, if you look at the statement of income and expenditure of NNPC, every financial year, you see how huge the expenditure is. And what we are going to understand is from all revenue accruing to you, you have to take away all this expenditure before remitting to FAC. And there have been issues, thank you, that number, to recollect during the last exercise that we had here. That it was a serious argument about deductions made by NNPC, even in the MTEC document that was given to us. That who approves all these deductions for NNPC? You cannot be a judge in your own case. You generate X millions of dollars, naira for this country, and all you do is, this is what we have that we have generated. I will deduct all the costs. We are saying that there must be a check and balance. Whatever constitutes your expenditure to arrive at those revenues, we must.
If you give me the floor. Once more, I want to confirm to you that the revenue projections and the cost of operations, which are actually the deductions, are always very clear and explicit in our MTEP submission, which are aggregated into the national budget. So it is you that approves those deductions. If you say no deduction, it means there will be no oil operations, and there will be no revenue from oil and gas. Because we have a judgment by the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that confirms that cost of production is a first line tax, in the sense that you have to pay for the operation. But we cannot do it unilaterally without having the National Assembly appropriate. You have appropriated. And talking about Auditor General cannot say he has no record of it. I'm always a party in the Public Accounts Committee, both Senate and the House, for so many years. And we provide information. We've had, during the COVID period, we've had almost 3 weeks marathon with the Public Accounts Committee, Senate. So Auditor General cannot claim that he has no information from NNPC. We are publishing everything now in the website. What we receive, what we deduct, what we remit every month as the DG Budget Office. This is also a requirement of the recent loan we took from IMF. So therefore, there's no truth about it. With respect to RA, repayment agreement with the IOCs, we agreed, after they agreed to take a haircut, that they will keep this production intact. It is from incremental production that they will recover their arrears that were withheld us for a long time. And so far, one of the partners has fully recovered his own.
Who have recovered his own?
I have the ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil, yes. The rest are also on the trajectory to fully distribution.
How many years is left on the rest?
It's a question of production, OPEC quota, and price. So when you are supposed to be producing at 2.4 million barrels and you are suddenly cut 1.4, what do? We have to shut in even production that we felt was really not necessary. We have to cut the industry just to ensure that we comply with OPEC quota. Because we have to do that to ensure that the price picks up again.
So the production is 1.4, not 1.7.
Crude, 1.4. When you add condensate, that's why you get to 1.7 or thereabout. So, distinguished chairman and distinguished senators, we have nothing to hide anymore in NNPC. We publish our accounts. In the next few weeks, you will see very accounts. So if anybody wants to scrutinize, please feel free.
Thank you so much, CFO. I'm happy that anymore there is nothing to, but before there is something to add. So